Clearing my throat, sorry. I growl to clear my throat. Okay. Someone in the Sonic the Hedgehog group that I am a part of shared a relatively simple question. The Sonic franchise is 32 years old. How do you think Sonic the Hedgehog will kick the bucket? Any thoughts? And my response was actually very wordy, and I doubt anyone will bother to read it, so I will read it to you. I said, well, canonically or literally? Because those are two different things, and I'll explain the difference shortly. Because literally, he's a fictional character. He was born immortal and won't die unless he becomes extremely unpopular for some reason. Case in point, we still have fictional characters from ancient Greece or from Shakespeare. They're extremely long-lived fictional characters. Canonically, though, he got shot by Mephiles and died in Sonic 06. It already happened. The end. It's not my fault he came back from the dead. Not satisfying enough for you, I say? Great. Nothing will ever be satisfying. Because when DC killed Superman, the path of least resistance for them wasn't to create a new legacy of heroes to follow in his footsteps. No, it was to bring back Superman, cheapening the emotional impact of the entire ride. Why was that? Because fictional characters are like letters in an alphabet. We use them to communicate. Sure, you can write an essay without the letter E, but as long as the letter E is convenient to society, you haven't killed the letter E. You gave it a short reprieve. Sonic is everything that Sonic is, packaged in a cool-looking design, and his adventures in the comics and video games are explorations of the human experience, through symbolic representations of encoded values and themes. Essentially, not just Sonic, but all stories with fictional characters are poetic thought experiments pondering what it means to be a certain way, translated into forms that are more easily digestible for us humans. Sonic is a philosophy. He won't die. Sonic is at the same time a fictional character and can die as often as he wants. For example, Ash Ketchum's in the Pokemon movie dies and comes back. It's kind of a rite of passage for fictional characters. You gotta die at least once to be cool. Sonic, at the same time, is a video game character and has died at our own hands, because we're not perfect at video games, let's be honest, more times than we'd like to admit. Death is cyclical. The only way a concept can die is by being forgotten, and when things die, their spirit moves to a place where more metaphysical cycles occur, while their body is broken down into its base parts and redigested by the living, creating the physical cycle. Imagine, if you would, two futures, one where humanity has gone extinct, and another where humanity has evolved to such an extent that it has lost touch with the world that we consider to be the present condition. In both of these worlds, let's imagine Sonic is a forgotten character, a dead concept. In both worlds, eventually, the society that comes to replace our modern society, so for the one where humans went extinct, imagine it's evolved squids like the Inklings by Nintendo. And for the society where humans evolved, imagine it's big-eyed, barely gendered, athletic, baby-faced people. And they find the ancient records of our modern world, buried in the trash of our consumerist overproduction, and rediscover scraps of who or what a Sonic was to us. Imagine the Atari landfill, but Sonic. And not an Atari landfill, but just like a regular landfill. The people in the future, it doesn't matter which one, they are captivated by his striking visual design, just as one of us would be captivated by cave paintings or hieroglyphs. If you're not moved by cave paintings or hieroglyphs, I don't know what to say to you, but a lot of people are, so just have empathy for them and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, these future people piece together his plots, his lore, his legacy, and his pantheon of friends. Like we have pieced together the tablets of the king who saw the deep. That's an ancient Babylonian tablet. It's often called the Epic of Gilgamesh. In the end, they teach about his impact on our culture in schools, and nerdy kids draw variations of Sonic when they're feeling nostalgic or romantic about an era that was long before their time. This isn't quite the Sonic we know anymore, because our Sonic is a living language, culture incarnate, if you would, while their Sonic has been Latinized, a dead language. He's mysterious, dusty, and evokes the energy of the past, which means different things to different people. When our Sonic makes a cameo in our time, it's usually either the product of a rabid fan, like the person who made Sonic Chew, or the product of a corporate agenda, like Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games. When their future people, Ziz Sonic, makes that's a typo, makes a cameo, it's a homage to the legends of the ancient past. A god from a dead religion, if you would. A hero from Greek myth, in a manner of speaking. A powerful distillation of analysis and retroactive analytic osmosis. I'll break that down for you because I used a lot of words, big words. Basically, we all learn a little bit about Medusa and Hercules and shit like that, but like most people culturally don't know like in depth the whole essay about Hercules and Medusa and all the different takes on the myth. They just kind of know the tropes, a little bit of Medusa, a little pinch of Hercules, you know what I'm saying. So that is analytic osmosis, because most of us don't speak ancient Greek. We learned about Hercules and Medusa because somebody did. Somebody studied them really hard, and then we got a little pinch of that knowledge. Okay? Makes sense? Good. Moving on. We can see this today with anime like the Fate series, which is an anime series that does like really inaccurate reimaginings of historical characters from literature and history. And that Netflix show Ragnarok about the gods and humans having a battle, which takes figures from history and gods from ancient myths and makes them fight in an arena. Both of the animes take history and recontextualize the lore. Dead Sonic will be reabsorbed by the ecology of tropes in the future in a similar way. On the other hand, we have documentaries, deep dives, and high school classes about ancient myth, and Dead Sonic will also be subject to this. So when you ask me how Sonic will die, it breaks my heart to say he will die by losing relevance, and for a time, won't be concurrent with culture. When we find him again and revive him, his symbology will have a different effect on us. Neither us nor Sonic will be the same. This is the circle of life that symbols undergo. Sonic is a symbol. Someday time will claim him, his modern spirit will move on, his remains will rot, and he will be reabsorbed in the various ways that symbols evolve. And when we find his soul again, and he reincarnates, we will both have undergone growth and change. The end. And then I go on to say, because I just can't stop talking, when you break out of one cycle, you find yourself in a larger cycle, or circle, same difference. I'm talking too much? And you want in your chair? Okay. That's my cat, Charlie. Let me pause this essay real quick to help him out. Had to get him in his chair. He's an old man, so he can't jump anymore. My cat. My mom's cat. Let's see. Where did I leave off? The only thing that isn't circular, I'm talking about all of existence, by the way. In all of reality, the only thing that isn't circular in some way is the branches of the ever-expanding reality itself, which contains all of the nested and interlocking circles that us time-dependent beings call home. So Sonic is perhaps more in tune with this than anyone. He curls up into a circle and collects circular rings. Oftentimes, his goal is even a circular ring. His adventures are cyclical, and to move forward, he must repeat the pattern he has done endless times with only slight variation. When someone is in trouble, Sonic will willingly enter his cyclical set of challenges again until he can break the cycle for another. He's akin to a Buddhist hero in some ways, willingly staying in the cycle, for example, the circle of reincarnation, to help others ascend. There are endless cycles in existence, and you will never break free from all of them, so why exit any of them? Sonic answers this question too. In his downtime, he enjoys loop-de-loops. He doesn't mind his cycle, it brings him joy. He breaks others out of it when they bring, or fall prey to, harm. He's happy living in a loop, as long as there's variation and flair. When others visit his realm with sadness, he puts an end to it. He exists to free Dr. Eggman from his cycle of self-destruction, and to free his friends from their own cycles of sorrow. Sonic seems like an unstoppable straight arrow, but he's merely an indestructible ring. He's content in his world as long as his rhythm, his cycle, is unimpeded. If he meets impedance, he will eventually force it to leave or live in harmony with his rhythm. Tails was in some tellings of the Sonic lore in pain because of others. They were bullying him. Sonic came and helped Tails enjoy his own cycle. Sonic helps complete the rhythms of others. Dr. Eggman, meanwhile, is a representation of someone unwilling to complete their own cycle. Eggman is a sad character who does not enjoy his work. He boasts that he does because of his ego, and yet his vision of perfection needed to copy others when he made Metal Sonic. If he truly believes himself perfect, why would he stoop so low as to copy another and then call that imitation his greatest creation? Unlike Sonic, Eggman is not able to attune to the rhythms of others, and seeks to find balance by silencing all rhythms that compete with his own. If Sonic were free-form communal jazz, Eggman would be a strict, slave labor-driven orchestra. Eggman thinks he is breaking free from his own cycle by breaking the cycles of others. That is why his greatest nemesis is someone who has found contentment in their cycle. Eggman cannot come to terms with the fact that to truly be free, he would need to let go of his ego, and find a truer purpose than the order he seeks to impose. Ironically, Eggman needs to stop enforcing his brand of chaos control and accept that he is controlled by the chaos. And he won't do this. Sonic is fighting not to free Eggman from his ego, as Sonic has quieted the ego as well, but rather to free Eggman from his urge to break free. To Eggman, chaos is the cycle he's fighting so desperately to break free from by exerting control over his world. While to Sonic, chaos is the spice in his chili dog that motivates him to do another loop-de-loop as he completes one more lap in his endless journey. In short, Eggman has a goal, and he thinks it will make him happy. But he can never achieve this goal because it makes others sad, and they rebel. Sonic is trying to teach him that he doesn't need to reach his goal, because Sonic reaches all his goals all the time, and has learned there's always another goal, so the journey is ultimately the longer-lasting source of fulfillment and satisfaction than the destination. Eggman is not fulfilled by the actions he wants. Eggman is not fulfilled by actions. He wants to be fulfilled by an accomplishment. So, he doesn't enjoy his robots, for example. I'm going off script now. He thinks Cubot and Orbot are annoying. He's just trying to take over the world, and all of his annoyances are worth it because he thinks he's going to get to the goal and then be fulfilled. In a way, by keeping Eggman from reaching his goal, Sonic is teaching him to enjoy the ride. I made a typo there. I think if Sonic helped Eggman ever learn this lesson, the impact would be so great as to send shockwaves from the fictional world of Sonic the Hedgehog into our real world and the way we communicate. Food for thought. It would be a pretty powerful metaphor if, Eggman, actually stopped being Dr. Eggman because of something Sonic did. And then they needed to fight against some kind of, not just another Eggman, but, something bigger and more meaningful. And I don't know what that could be, which is why I'm not necessarily recommending that we fix Eggman yet. But, if we could find a way, hypothetically, I'm definitely off script now, but if we could find a way, hypothetically, for Sonic to get through to Eggman, and to Eggman to actually, like, permanently, like, realize, like, I need to stop being a jerk and just, like, be chill, the whole Sonic world would change. And whatever we found to keep us going and keep us invested in Sonic's world from that point on could trigger, like, a new worldview and be a great, like, visual and storytelling metaphor for something that society needs to undergo. Because in a way, and this is way, way off script now, society is trapped in a consumerist cycle and it's hurting our planet. And we don't really enjoy needing things. We don't really even enjoy having things. We enjoy using things, usually to create something or just get a good experience. Like, you don't enjoy owning a movie. You enjoy watching that movie, and owning that movie is just a means to an end. So the movie is the journey and the destination. Owning the movie is just the journey. And therefore, consumerism, like getting all of the things, is making us more like Dr. Eggman than like Sonic. All right, peace out, homies.